first thing that I want to talk about is the fact that Ronda Rousey did in fact make her return to WWE this past Sunday night at the Royal Rumble. She won the match, and I said it here, I said it, that if she returned, if there was any possibility that she returned to WWE at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view event, there was absolutely no way in hell that the WWE was not going to have her win that match. Because that would have been just a disaster to have her re-debut, return, after almost 3 years away from the company, and not have her have a defining moment, not have her win the big match. That would have been a big mistake on WWE's part. And now that she has won the Rumble match, she has to pick an opponent for WrestleMania. Which champion was Ronda Rousey going to choose for WrestleMania to challenge at the show of shows? It was either going to be the Raw Women's Champion, Becky Lynch, who she has plenty of history with, or someone who has a ton of history with as well, and ultimately her choice for this year's WrestleMania, Charlotte Flair, the SmackDown Women's Champion. We saw their confrontation, their encounter on SmackDown. Things got heated up, and it was made official. Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 38 for the SmackDown Women's Championship. That's official. That's not going to change at all. It doesn't matter if you pick Charlotte Flair to defend her title against any of the other competitors on the SmackDown brand. SmackDown's women division right now isn't deep enough to be able to poise that kind of threat to her title. But, that's a match that, I'm interested in. And I'm pretty sure a lot of fans out there are interested in it as well. But, everyone, including myself, was expecting Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch. Finally, 1-on-1. Doesn't really matter if it was on WrestleMania or not. They just wanted that match to happen. And WWE decided to go a different route. And with this WrestleMania, there are a lot of reports saying that the card isn't finalized, that they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what to do with Edge. They don't know what to do with AJ Styles. They don't know what to do with Orton and Riddle. And they don't know what to do with The Miz. And they had Shane McMahon factored into the WrestleMania card until he apparently got enough heat with the company in one day to just be exiled from the company yet again. It seems to me that this WrestleMania is just a pit stop. It's just a pit stop. It's just a preview of next year's WrestleMania, where there are rumors and reports that Vince McMahon is pushing for 2 big matches at that year's WrestleMania. Gonna happen pretty close here, nearby in Los Angeles. So obviously they want to make it one of the biggest WrestleManias of all time. They want to have The Rock come back and challenge Roman Reigns. Now, if you ask me, that match does not need a championship. It doesn't. As a matter of fact, I would prioritize to not have it for a championship. Because if it's not for a title, if that match ever happens, and it's for a title, 9 times out of 10, Roman Reigns is going to win that match. But if it's 1-on-1, no title on the line, you got the Tribal Chief against the Great One at WrestleMania, it could go either way. And then you have the actual match that everybody wants. Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey. 1-on-1. Finally, on WrestleMania. It seems to me that those are the rumored, reported, and the hopeful main events for next year's WrestleMania. So while the main events we're getting at WrestleMania this year are not too bad, they're interesting enough to be worthy of being WrestleMania main events, they're not quite the best that the WWE can give us. And that is Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. I'm hoping it's just for the Universal title, because Bobby Lashley needs to retain that title at Elimination Chamber. Otherwise, his second WWE Championship reign is going to be 2, 3, 4 weeks long. He beat Brock Lesnar thanks to Roman Reigns, and then he stepped inside an elimination chamber and lost the title. You know how bad the almighty Bobby Lashley's gonna look after that? And then you got Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair, which is pretty much guaranteed to be a showstopper, a great match. And, well, first of all, they have to set up Ronda Rousey to actually be a babyface, for one, because those promos that she's been dishing out on WWE TV since her return, they've been kind of heelish. They've been kind of passive-aggressive to the fans, and you can ask anybody in the WWE universe, they do not want to cheer and support and chant Charlotte Flair. They don't. They want to hate her, and Ronda Rousey needs to be able to convey that to the fans and help them out. So with that said, these aren't the main events that I would have wanted. I would have hoped, I was okay with Reigns versus Lesnar for WrestleMania. They've been building up to that for a while. As far as I'm concerned, this is the third WrestleMania that they're going to headline, and this is the best story they've told between these two men in WWE. And that's saying something. And based on that merit alone, that's why I think that they deserve the WrestleMania main event, and that's why I'm fully okay with them being a part of the grandest show of them all in the manner that they are going to be in. But I was really expecting Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch to be one of the showstoppers, to be the match that actually sold tickets for Dallas, a match that everybody knew was going to be the main event of one of those nights. So with that said, Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey, that's the choice. SmackDown Women's Championship on the line at WrestleMania. What do you think? Do you agree with that? Do you like that? Do you agree with me and the fact that it is just a pit stop for Ronda Rousey on her way to Becky Lynch at next year's WrestleMania? That's over a year away. That's a long wait. Or do you think that they should have gone balls out, thrown the kitchen sink at this year's WrestleMania, and then, next year's WrestleMania, do the exact same? That's what you should do for the biggest show of them all. So with that said, leave your thoughts, comments, and predictions on the comment section below.